What's up, everybody? Dave Bartosiak here, and I have another chart of the day. It is ticker SMCI. That is Super Microcomputer, a.k.a. Super Mario, a.k.a. the next NVIDIA. That's basically how the stock has been acting. Let's take a look at Zacks.com, see what I like about it and what there is to talk about. So first and foremost, it is a Zacks ranked number one strong buy. F for value, D for growth, which should be surprising. F for momentum, which I can't understand, for a VGM composite score of F. Now, the computer storage devices industry is in the top 6% of our Zacks industry rank, so things have been really hot over here. Just a couple of quick things on the overview. You can see, it's a $60 billion market cap right now, so relatively small in the world of the $1 trillion market caps that we have in the world. Beta 1.27, that means it's more volatile, 27% more volatile than the S&P 500. Let's look at the detailed earnings estimates page here. We can see there's a little bit of an ESP heading into next quarter. Last quarter's surprise came in 2% better than expected. Of course, that's better if I don't cross it out. You can see it. Forward PE right now is at 49.49 times, rather. Let's take a look at this revenue growth and earnings growth. 103% revenue growth for this year. So that is pretty sizable number, up to $14.5 billion. Next year, estimates call for 26% growth. If you translate it over to the EPS side, 83% EPS growth this year, 31% next year. So those are the monstrous numbers that's causing this thing to push along. You can see even just recently, two analysts over the course of the last 60 days pushing up their estimates for the current year and next year. Look at the jump in the Zacks consensus estimate. 1671 up to 2171 for the current year. Next year number from 1858 all the way up to 2860. That is coming off of that huge report with the upside guidance. 2% surprise, but it was all about the guidance that really got people going on this one. Last thing I want to take a look at here is the chart. And it's funny because this chart looks ridiculous, right? Because we can't really scale this in a proper fashion to show you just what's happened. It has been parabolic, no question. So I'm trying to break this down into bite-sized pieces here. So first is this monster move from basically November of 2022, where the stock was trading down at 50, skyrocketing up over 300 into August of 2023. So that's the first move. You get a little bit of a retrace. That retrace didn't even hit the 200-day moving average. The stock hasn't seen its 200-day moving average since July of 2022. So the shorter-term average, the 50-day, has been the one that has come into play. And that was an area where the stock teetered around as it was moving sideways at the end of last year. And then what happened? Well, we all know what happened. Basically, October was the springboard for most stocks. This one took just a little bit longer, really found another bottom there in December, and that's where it took off. You got this nice jump above the 50-day and then the support there. So this was kind of the beginning of the real move, right? Is you see the stock chopping around the 50-day, but fails at the 50-day, fails at the 50-day, finally rallies above it, doesn't fail at the 50-day, and that was a signal that things were going to go nice, very nicely. Maybe not quite this bonkers, but it has. So now we can zoom in here a little bit closer and you can see the action recently. So huge volume day, which pushed the stock up over 400. You had a big earnings report that helped it along too. Since then, it's rocketed higher. That's not without volatility, okay? First attempt at 1,000 was vehemently rejected. Another jump back up there the other day. Now, this was on news that it had joined the S&P 500, so that's why you got the spike up over there at 1150 yesterday. So far, we are retreating again here on Tuesday, March 5th. Now it's in this gap. So what I'm fully expecting is, at a healthy stock, it would fill this gap before it went back up. But, this is not normal, okay? Not normal behavior here. Something I heard a lot from my mom growing up. Here's the move from that Wednesday, the 21st to the 22nd of February. You see the big gap. And that gap kind of got filled, but never really did. So I'm expecting a similar situation where this gap kind of gets filled, but maybe doesn't. So maybe 950 or so. I know there's lots of investors waiting to buy this bad boy on a pullback. Now, maybe the time over the next few days, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Of course, we've got the big jobs number coming Friday, which will likely be a market mover for sure. So ahead of that, we're going to be positioned. So there you go. That's why I have Super Micro Computer as my chart of the day. Be sure to check out Zacks.com/promo for this week's deal that we've got going for you. And boy, is it a good one. So check it out. Let me know. For everybody here at Zacks.com, I'll say thank you so much for checking us out, and we will see you next week. Have a good one.